Hi and welcome, I'm CJ Moon, and today we're doing a facts-only walkthrough of a fan theory many of you have asked about, whether November 8th, 2015 might be a very special day for Jimin and Jungkook. I'm not doing body language, I don't do analysis, and I don't do speculation. As always with my Only Facts series, I'm simply laying out documented events and dates in order, facts only. You decide what they mean. As always, I encourage you to check original sources and neutral translations for yourself. Links and references for everything I mention here are in the video description. This episode exists thanks to my channel members and my Patreons. You make this all possible. If you'd like to support the show, you can join the Patreon from just $1 a month. The link is again in the description. So let's begin. So rather than actually start on the day, we're going to start a year earlier, back in November 2014. Why? Because of a tiny, charming moment Jimin shared with us on Twitter. Someone drew hearts all over his phone case. And we even know for a fact who that someone was because Jimin told us the culprit was Jungkook. It's small, but it's a moment that I don't think many ARMY know about. And it sets this lovely tone, affectionate, playful, and it's on record. So fast forward to November of 2015, the night of the Melon Music Awards, where BTS won Best Male Dance Performance. Afterward, a short JiKook video is posted to Twitter. Smiles are bright, a big thank you to ARMY. It's warm and celebratory, and keep that date in mind because that's the date that we're going to start from, November 8th, 2015. So when we think of anniversaries, many of us think yearly dates. See you next November 8th, right? Well, in Korea, there's also a second way of marking anniversaries. It's a popular convention that they use marking the number of days since a special event. So not just annually, 100 days, 200 days, 1,000 days, and so on. Keep that in mind because that is going to become important here. So exactly 100 days after November 8th, 2015, adjusted for Korean Standard Time, Jungkook posts on Twitter about the importance of reading song lyrics. And then he uploads a cover onto SoundCloud. Nothing Like Us by Justin Bieber. If you listen to those lyrics, you'll understand why people took notice. There's nothing like us, there's nothing like you and me, together through the storm. So this was the 100-day mark. Again, that's fact. It's not analysis, it's math. So let's go on to the following year now. So we have a mark on 100 days. What about 1 year later? So on November 8th, 2016, Jimin tweets just a short video, but again wants to prove to us that he and Jungkook are together, seated next to each other on a plane. There's even a cheeky little wink in there. So now we have a 100-day marker with a romantic song cover and a 1 year marker showing them sitting next to each other, traveling together, Jimin wanting to make sure that we knew that he and Jungkook were together. Could it be coincidence? Of course it could, but we're not done. So here we are now, November 8th, 2017, 2 years exactly. And Jungkook makes the grand gesture that shook the fandom. He releases his first Golden Closet film, GCF Tokyo, a meticulously crafted video documenting his private, and I will repeat, private Tokyo trip that he planned for Jimin's birthday. The edit, the music, the mood, it's a masterpiece. Once again, remember Jungkook told us to pay attention to the lyrics. And he chose There For You, by Martin Garrix and Troye Sivan, an openly gay artist. That's now 3 consecutive markers linking back to the 8th of November, 2015. Okay, so we're going to pause here for a moment and do some math. The odds of randomly hitting an exact same day of the year twice, for example, for an anniversary, is 1 in 133,225. Hitting both anniversaries and the 100-day Korean anniversary, the probability for that is roughly 1 in 48.9 million. Again, that's not analysis, that's math. We aren't talking about random social media posts. All three of those markers included Jimin and Jungkook together. 1 in roughly 49 million. Still, there is a 1, so coincidence remains on the table, right? So remember the cultural bit we talked about counting days. I just want to mention here that there is clear proof showing that Jimin is familiar with it and that he actually uses a tool to help him track it. In the Search King episode of Run BTS, Jimin mentions using the Naver anniversary calendar to count the number of days since an important event. So this isn't just a fan invention. Jimin himself has referenced counting days for anniversaries. So here we are now. We're going to 1,000 days after November 8th, 2015. We're in August of 2018. BTS have just been to Malta filming Bon Voyage 3. And on their way back, JiKook are again sitting next to each other on a plane and tweet a video capturing Jimin's surprised, funny expression as they sit together. Another intimate, small slice of what's going on between the two of them. At the same time, Jungkook posts a 4-photo sequence in the same tweet. And the photos are of himself, a calico cat, the sun, and the moon. The caption references the red moon that he and Jimin watched alone on the boat in Malta after dropping the other members off on shore. Even back then, the fans were already referring to them as the sun and moon couple. The imagery here wrote its own caption. So is that all? Of course it's not. Let's go to Seoul, shall we? It's now March 11th, 2022, and BTS are performing Permission to Dance on stage, during which Jimin stands up at one point and proudly introduces himself. This is Jimin from grade 2, class 3, number 15. Let's take those numbers together. That reads 2315. And how many days has it been since November 8th, 2015 on that exact date? 2,315 days. Again, not analysis, that's facts. Right, so let's lay all the tiles out here without analysis again. We're going to start on the original date. Back in November of 2015, we get the post for the Melon Music Awards, the thank you video with Jimin and Jungkook. 100 days later, we get Jungkook emphasizing the importance of song lyrics on Twitter and posting his cover of Nothing Like Us on SoundCloud. On November 8th, annual anniversary, Jimin hits Twitter with a video of him and Jungkook showing that they are indeed together on their anniversary. On November 8th, 2017, GCF Tokyo drops Jungkook's film of the Tokyo trip he personally arranged for Jimin's birthday. Day 1000, we get the plain video of Jimin's surprised face and Jungkook's sun and moon photo sequence referencing the red moon they watched together. And then again on March 11th, 2022, we get Jimin's 2315 at the Permission to Dance on stage in Seoul, which matches 2,315 days since November 8th, 2015. Each item there is a date-stamped fact. So let's do some more math. What are the odds that by chance, just by chance, JiKook would hit 2 annual anniversaries, 2 Korean-style anniversaries on day 100 and day 1000, and Jimin's 2315 on the 2,315th day since November 8th, 2015. 1 in 14.5 trillion. Not billion, trillion. Again, that's not analysis, that's math. That's facts. The interpretation of those facts is up to you, but if you take into consideration that the content that was posted, that is not just of one of them, but references both of them, the odds are only going to get crazier. So, to wrap it up, for some people, that will be enough evidence to suggest that November 8th, 2015 marks the start of something special for Jimin and Jungkook. Others will insist that there is still a 1 in the 1 in 14.5 trillion, and that it's all just a string of coincidences. What matters here is that you have now heard the factual sequence of events clearly, without embellishment. Thank you for listening. Apologies, I'm not a pro podcaster, so I did stumble a bit there. If you enjoy this facts-only format, let me know so I'll keep making more of it. The video notes include a link to my original video on this same phenomenon, shall we call it, that will show you all the original documentation, pictures of the tweets, etc. If you want some cozy JiKook fiction to go with these facts, you can find it on my Patreon at patreon.com/CJMoon. It's free to join, or to keep this podcast ad-free, you can join my Patreon with perks starting from just $1 a month. Thank you for listening and for bringing your own eyes and your own brain. I'm CJ Moon. I love you. I purple you. Sarangay.